Hi, my name is Amber Flannigan. I'm a behavior analyst in DD4, and this is my second year. So in the fall, I ran the Berlin Marathon. In grad school, I was getting pretty stressed. I just had a lot on my plate. So my mentor, she convinced me to start training for a 5K, which is going to be about 3.2 miles. I decided that I could do that one, so I trained really hard and ended up doing that about 2 years ago. And I really loved the race. I loved the community of running. So I decided I wanted to train for my first 10K, which is going to be around 6.1 miles. Well, at that time, my school psychology supervisor convinced me to run a half marathon, which is 13.1 miles. And so you can kind of see how I fell in love with the distance. Once I did that race, I decided, okay, let's do the marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So my first one was Kiowa Marathon last December, and then I ran the Berlin Marathon in this September. And then now I'm training for an ultra marathon, which I'm gonna do very soon. And that's gonna be anything above the distance of a marathon. So the one I'm gonna do is a 50K, so around 32 miles. So signing up for the Berlin Marathon, it was actually a little bit tricky. It's one of the 6 world marathons, so everybody wants to do it. This one especially, it was the 50th anniversary of it, so everybody was applying for it. So what they do in these world marathons is they put you into a lottery system and you just have your fingers crossed that you're gonna get in. And all of a sudden when I got into the Berlin Marathon, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm going to Berlin. When I told my family, they were like, Amber, what are you doing? But there was a lot of prep that went into it. I had to convert all my money over to euros. I had to get my passport ready, and then just really training for the race. The traveling, it was a lot of fun, just because it's always a new experience, but it did get a little tricky, especially the way up there, because we had a few layovers, almost missed a few flights just because of that language barrier. Overall, I would say it was about like 8-ish hours. We ended up flying overnight, which wasn't bad at all. So my parents have actually never even been to a race. So I decided it would be really cool if the first race they ever saw was the 50th anniversary of the Berlin Marathon. So they were super excited to go, and it was amazing to have them. And around mile 7, that was the first time I saw them. But I saw somebody else I recognized, and my brother ended up being there too to support me, which was, I can't even explain how amazing that was. I was in complete shock and loss of words. So running the Berlin Marathon was an absolutely amazing experience. It was something I can't even describe what it was like to be there with 50,000 other runners. And just for proof that I finished, I have my medal here with me. But it was having this around my neck when I finished. It was one of the biggest accomplishments I've ever seen in my life. As you can see here, I got my Berlin Marathon jacket on, and you usually get this at like the Race Expo, and that's where you're gonna get all of your race stuff. And it seems like it's kind of a tradition at these world marathons that the days leading up to the race, other runners will wear this jacket. That way you can kind of identify each other and start communicating with each other. But with 50,000 runners, there was a lot of people with a lot of language barriers, but we would all still communicate with each other, even if we were just gesturing to each other, like, good luck, you got this, you can do this. So I made so many amazing connections throughout this process. I got to see quite a bit of history over in Berlin. I also went over to Potsdam, which was really cool to see as well. I got to see a concentration camp while I was over there the day before the race. I was a little nervous though, because that was a lot of walking I did before the race, but it ended up totally being fine. But after the race, I ended up going over to Ireland, and my family, my brother, my parents came with me over to Ireland, and we did a ton of hiking over there. We saw the Kerry Cliffs, the Cliffs of Moher, kissed the Blarney Stone, which is supposed to bring you a lot of good luck, and we did a whole wide variety of things. It was really cool to be able to represent DD4 in a foreign country. I just want to show everybody that you can do hard things. A few years ago, I never would have dreamed I would have this lifestyle. I probably would have laughed at you if you told me that this was going to happen. So to my DD4 family, I just want you to know that you can do anything. Anything is possible. Just put your mind to it and you got this.